tap into your creativity, man. It's a time for the revolutionaries to stand up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Q Ortiz, and welcome to Transition Talk, Mucusless Diet Healing System edition, where we're getting inside the minds and experiences of different practitioners of Professor Arnold Ehret's Mucusless Diet Healing System. So this will allow us to learn more about how living a mucus-free life, shout out to Professor Spira, or as Brother Air would say, a life towards mucuslessness is accessible and its importance towards our future generations to come. So today we are featuring visionary, musician, revolutionary, creative, Tobin. What's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yo, doing great, man.
Yeah.
I'm just in the sanctuary of the home. So, how to create a good environment for your own healing center. I would put it. That's how I like my home to be. Come home, it's like where I just everything's got to be for that healing and that creative spark. Just to express your real self. It's like get away from the BS. You're in your zone. So
So this past week, how's your transition been moving along?
I would say it's been going really well. I think the key is having stuff prepared, especially if you're working a full-time job or you're out and about and you got errands to run, you got stuff to do. It's important to be prepared. And I've recently had a farmer market open in my local area. That's been great because nothing like produce from the farmer's market. It's undescribable how much better it is than getting it from regular conventional grocery stores.
Definitely.
I actually last week I got a flack of strawberries. It was like the first strawberries of the season. All really good strawberries. I got this one place out to Black Dirt Farms. I got tons of bags of fresh greens.
Okay.
And some of them are mustard greens. There's fennel, kale, arugula, stuff like that in a bag. And then we also got like a bunch of heads of lettuce there. And
do they have social media?
I think they probably do.
Okay.
I think you can probably look them up.
All right, we could talk about that.
Yeah, no doubt. And also got some honey too.
Some honey?
Really good honey. Yeah, high quality honey.
Okay. What'd you do with the strawberries?
I just eat them.
Okay.
I just like eating them, but I just like eating strawberries in a mono meal. I'll have a big, probably a decent sized bowl. I mean, berries are pretty light. They're also, I find them really satisfying too, when they're high quality.
Okay.
I haven't just been eating just farmer market food, but I'd say that's the highlight of stuff I've been eating last week.
Nice. Yeah.
High quality produce. Noelle made a sweet potato salad and she's going to make another one. And it was really good. So it's like sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Mashed sweet potatoes and chopped up. Well, you cool the sweet potatoes and then you chop up some celery and I think cilantro, onion, mix it all together. And I think some vegan mayonnaise, some spices.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really bomb.
What does that recipe remind you of?
Potato salad.
Okay. Oh, you're saying
potato salad. Yeah,
traditional potato salad.
The white, it's like the white potato salad with mayonnaise, and it's the same idea, Yeah, mainly sweet potatoes, yams, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good transition recipe.
Has that
Yeah,
been something you were used to?
I'd say, yeah, I'd say pretty often. We have, barbecues and maybe eating burgers and have a
Uh,
potato salad with it.
yeah,
Or
I
like
could see that.
having a picnic, have a potato salad and a sandwich or some kind of combination.
Definitely.
That one.
So you mentioned, well, one, you mentioned the sanctuary, and I dig that idea as far
Yeah,
as creating your own space and expressing your own energy and
absolutely.
incubating in your own energy. So definitely big ups to that. And
Yeah,
then you also mentioned Noel. Who's Noel?
yeah. Noelle is my love partner. I like to call.
Word.
We've been in I call a relationship. I call a relation spaceship. So it's like
Oh,
a
relation
yeah
spaceship. Oh,
relation
snap.
spaceship.
Hey, yo.
Put you on some game, man. Oh
Like,
yeah, I'm all about space, man. Because yeah, I mean, because to me, a relation spaceship, you're think about it, you're on a ship, you're going to sea with this person. Just imagine, like, what I imagine is like, you're going on a cruise ship or a boat trip, that kind of level of relation. And
mm,
then imagine being on a relation spaceship, being on a spaceship with someone.
uh,
That's another level. Like, you're going somewhere beyond just like the surface level of like, okay, we're just cruising on the sea. But yeah, we've been together for I think it's been 4 years now.
dang. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
4 years.
So I'm curious, how has being in a relationship and practicing the mucusless diet healing system, how has that affected your practice?
It's been extremely transformative in the practice because when you get into the mucus diet healing system,
Yeah.
and I can speak from my own personal experience, but I also know from other people who share their journeys,
Yeah.
it's a very personal and intimate experience you have with yourself.
Mm,
And for me, it was I was endeavoring on this journey alone. And because it seems so taboo to the modern masses and to what people are commonly know about,
what does?
the practice of the Mucusless Diet Healing System in modern day society.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
meaning it's not something that's popular. It's
Not
not
at
ever
all.
talked about on the media.
Yeah.
And even in alternative health modalities, it's not as revered as things like raw food or fruitarianism
Yeah.
or like these other things. But
Yeah.
Arnold Ehret is foundation of all those. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's
Shout
something
out to the OG.
that's the history lesson. Yeah, man. Even Dr. Sabi was like, "Oh, Eric the OG." He didn't say that exactly, but gave him props with the findings of the mucus theory, and I'm sure others too, like David Wolf. Also, he talks about him in his book, and
Mm,
there's also Herbert Shelton
mm-hmm.
and Ann Osborne. They all quote him. They all quote Arnold Ehret.
Yeah. How do you feel about raw foodism and fruitarianism?
Let's start with raw foodism. Okay, so Arnold Ehret talked about raw foodism in his book.
Yeah.
That's to show you kind of how ahead of his time he was,
Mm,
um, because he was already pointing to it having an obvious, there's the pros and cons to it. So
mm,
the pros is if you're eating a lot of raw food, it's a good roughage and fiber and cleansing for the body, but um, there's also the lack of transition and it becomes fattish and people gravitate towards the raw food based on its idea of purity and this trying to get to this high level of vibration or whatever kind of word associated with that kind of lifestyle of being extremely pure in the toxic world. And I think people want to become pure because they know deep down that this world is very filthy. And I feel like, and I feel like people just want to jump right to the finish line and to get to that level of what they perceive as purity and as being a high level, when in fact it's all about the process, and that's what you learn about when practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System. That is the process of cleaning yourself up mechanically, methodically, thoughtfully, in a very slow, gradual way. But the raw foodism, it kind of gives this image of, people who promote it may promote them being very healthy and very happy and full of vigor all the time. And I feel like it really it distorts the truth of, the amount of pain people might be going through, and just create a kind of a false image of like, I'm just living this perfect lifestyle and I'm in the Bahamas and I'm eating nothing but mangoes and, just that. And I think raw foodism ties into the fruitarianism phrase because they're both very right next to each other, because really it's the same thing. It's just different terms. I mean, raw foodism can be defined as just eating things that are raw. So David Wolf was a proponent of raw foodism. And I feel like in the beginning that David Wolf was genuine and he really did have a good message to deliver of eating fresh raw fruits and vegetables and connecting with the earth, reducing your carbon trail, and all these things. So he did bring out, I think he really did bring out a lot of good information about wild foods and superfoods and all that kind of stuff. But then over time, I feel like people get, someone picks them up, like an agent or something. They're like, oh, this guy, he can sell some products, and he can get this, he can get this new crazy algae from Brazil. I'm just making stuff up, but you know what I mean? Just promoting like a product, and then it becomes more of like about selling something that's not about the real, about the health aspect of it. Instead, it turns more into about just like selling like an image or something that's not really feasible or able for most people. So a lot of people are like, well, how can I be raw? Just like if you just want to be raw, so they start eating like lots of nuts and seeds and dehydrated foods and stuff like that, instead of just using the cooked vegetables and cooked sweet potatoes and steamed greens. There's other things that raw foodism would tell you that cooked food, you put it under one umbrella, that it's all bad for you. They just say, oh, it's all bad. All cooked food just destroys it. And, I hear that a lot, on Facebook with people who are raw food advocates who, to say, be very strong-minded about, it's got to be raw. And, if it's cooked, it's destroying the nutritional value. And and there is a truth to that, but, and it's like transition, transition from where you're at. Over time, I eat mostly raw mucus-free foods, but I also eat a lot of cooked foods, but I also use the cooked foods with the raw foods. That's the important thing you have to know. If you're eating cooked foods, if you combine it with raw foods, it's a whole different type of thing. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. From my standpoint, I think it's I think there's a lot of good ideas in it. I think there's obviously health benefits of eating raw food, eating raw fruit. Um, I do believe we are a tropical species,
Yeah.
and we do thrive on fruits, leafy greens. So that being said, the raw food diet really is mucus free too. You know, when it really comes down to it, that's what is being said as being the cleanest food. It says it doesn't get into the mechanics. There's no system. That's the problem with it. There's no real systematic approach to healing or to getting to this level of, you know, if it's raw food. I mean, I've read a little bit about it. Like, okay, you got to start 60% and then 70% and 80%.
Yeah.
But there's a real thorough like analysis of, okay, well, if you were to eat a cooked food, what would that be? What can you use that's a cooked food that's better than another type of cooked food? You know, and how do you cook that particular food item? Like, how are you going to cook? You know, you can't just say all cooked food is bad, because if like a sweet potato isn't the same as eating steak.
Eating steak?
I mean? Yeah, I'm saying they're not equal. Like, meat is like, we stay away from meat. Like that's a pretty baseline, is like being vegan, but you wouldn't say like a meat is the same as a sweet potato. So like, okay, we can know rationally that a sweet potato, you would choose a sweet potato over a steak. We could use lightly steamed greens like collard greens, spinach, kale. You know, there's so many different kinds of greens that actually need to be cooked. And Arnold Ehret also talks about how a lot of the vegetables, when you cook them, it eliminates the starch content. Turns them into closer to the grape sugar, like cauliflower, broccoli, sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts. You know, these foods need to be cooked. It's better to eat certain foods cooked. Like, you can't eat beans raw. You can't eat, I mean, you really can't eat beans raw, but you can't eat broccoli raw. You can't eat potatoes raw, but you really don't want to. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
But just to summarize, I think it's mainly about, like, from my information. And I know there's probably more information to know about certain raw food people, but just from what I've seen and researched, is what I had stated is that, you know, it basically talks about how the benefits of eating raw food, but there's not a real systematic approach to, like, the Mucusless Diet Healing System.
And while you were expressing that, that's a great point as far as the systematic nature of the Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. I feel like that is the torch with the system. Like, that's the main flame that these other sort of ways of eating don't have, and that's where people really fall off, as you're touching in on, where I was recently just looking at a lot of Dr. Sebi content, just doing research as well, because I'm looking into doing some experiments coming up soon, and I can see there are great transitional tools that are expressed that I've seen through, say, using this kind of like spelt flour instead of wheat flour. Like, that's great transitioning and alternative tools. But when it comes to how are you pairing it, are you pairing it with the raw salad, as you just expressed? Am I pairing these cooked veggies with my raw salad and using that as a tool to transition where I want to go? I think that is a main component, and not just to single out Dr. Sebi, but I've seen that as well with the fully raw, where they're mixing fruits with veggies. They'll just mix that. That's on a plate, and that's just what they're eating.
Right.
And
Well, I got a good just to bring that point up that you just said about mixing the fruit and greens and raw food people.
okay.
It just reminded me of, this is when I get a little more insight about the raw food kind of culture, is because I actually was interested in a meetup. So I went to a raw food meetup, and in the meetup, we have like a spread, right? So it's a nice spread, but it's just all fruits and vegetables like all mixed together, and like people are eating watermelon and lettuce, like. And then you have it, like the what's it called, the cake, the raw cake, and
yeah,
again, I'm not hating, because there's things that I'll combine that aren't the best too.
definitely.
It's just like they didn't never talked about why, like how you combine things, and like why you eating, like even, I mean, Herbert Shelton even said melons, you eat them alone or leave them alone. So it's like there's certain foods you just don't want to combine.
Yeah.
They weren't really teaching anything, and that was just one sect of someone who was about raw foodism. I mean, they're eating fruits and veggies. That's great.
Yeah.
And I think all of that's great. All of that's great, but it's not so great when you combine things that aren't supposed to mix well together.
Yeah.
You don't have any thought about that. So I think it's interesting, because Arnold Ehret does talk about there's some fruits you can mix with vegetable. And
why do you think it's so important to understand food combinations?
Everyone is a little bit different, so certain things might be better for one person than another. Typically, in the Mucusless Diet Healing System outline, the best thing to eat when you break your fast is fruit. But sometimes you can eat a salad, that can be your first meal of the day. And then you can have another salad, or you can have a fruit meal later on in the day, but you want to eat the fruit for the most part first, unless you're going to eat the fruit a lot later than the salad, because the fruit digests a lot faster. So like, there's also just the spacing between foods, like fruits and vegetables, like the spacing in between. You're going to eat a fruit meal and you want a salad or a vegetable cooked meal, then you can eat, I would eat like an apple or something, like a juicy fruit, and then 30 minutes later have the veggie meal, cooked meal, or whatever it may be. But you definitely don't want to mix. There's certain things you definitely don't want to mix. Like, you don't want to mix fruits and nuts. That's in the book too.
Okay.
I know Professor Spira even talked about that. You don't want to mix fruit with mucus forming food. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, but a lot of people don't think about that, because a lot of us will like eat fruit after our meals. Or since growing up, for me, it's like the fruit sometimes was after the meal, so it's like almost like a treat, the sweet treat. So you eat an apple after your meal. That just defeats the purpose of the apple. But okay.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, fresh, dude. Good looks on the necklace, dude. I'm really digging it, man.
Yo, thank you.
That is fresh. Got the hose like wrapped around the neck. Dude.
Yeah.
Enema Patrol.
Yo, good looking out, man. Definitely. Yeah, I told you earlier, we had to get classy up in here. Just tighten up my enema necktie. Just get in uniform for the transition talk.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, good looking out. All right. So I'm curious about how you would describe your energy levels prior to practicing the mucusless diet, your initial introduction to it, to years into practicing. And we didn't touch in how long have you been working with the transition of Professor Arnold Ehret?
It's been 6 years.
Okay. Yeah,
6 years, man, going strong.
Yeah.
He might as well.
Yeah. So
physiological liberation.
What's that?
Physiological liberation.
Yeah.
For all.
So
for
V equals. You said for all those?
All those who desire to be physiologically free.
What is physiological freedom mean for you?
To me, physiological freedom is V equals P minus O, vitality equals power minus obstruction.
Okay.
But in a personal way, physiological freedom is like really just functioning on a holistic level of your entire system, your entire being, mind, body, spirit complex. It's all working together in unison. And you just are flowing in this constant state of steady vitality. Physiologically, your blood, changing the blood stock and freeing it of waste and obstructions and mucus and all the other toxins in our system. Yeah, that obstructs the flow of creativity. It obstructs the flow of connecting with the divine. It stops us from connecting with each other, from looking into ourselves and realizing how amazing we are, how powerful we really are on an individual level and on a cosmic level too.
Yeah. So how'd you come to find that? Where you just mentioned that mucus and obstruction is a deterrent from us connecting to the divine and realizing our power of how amazing we are. How were you able to realize that?
Physiological leaps in Kundalini, and awakening and rising your Kundalini energy is also, I think, is like parallel to the practice, because Kundalini energy is your evolutionary life force, and it's what connects you with your higher self and your divine power. So I think it just kind of like coincided together, because when you do clean up your diet, it's like other things start opening up and flowing a little bit better. Your connections with nature, and your spirit guides and spirit animals and ancestors all start coming back to life, man. Yeah, like I discovered amazing things of who I really am and ancient history into my bloodline, on a soul level. So that all came about, I think, as part of the Mucusless Diet Healing System, but also with other things that I've done in my life, and also during time practicing, like other kinds of stuff I've tapped into, like shamanism or shamanic practices and magic and connecting with earth, sun gazing, sunbathing, earthing, there's a lot of good stuff you can find out that can also enhance your practice and just your health, for sure. That I've discovered along the way. Eating a good diet is important, but without having a kind of physical, or just a physical and spiritual practice that you do alongside with that, it can be a lot more difficult.
Why is that?
Or when you learn a practice or something like yoga, or if you're into martial arts like you are, like you're into kung fu and to the qigong,
Yeah, qigong.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, qigong. Yeah, that it gives you something else to work on. That's like your body, yourself, um, in the universe, and it just tunes you into yourself. It gets you stronger. It builds up your stamina. There's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, definitely.
Like character. Yeah, absolutely. Character, spirit, bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just been fantastic that I found out about the yoga practice. And I just find it interesting too because it's called a Ashtanga yoga system. So it's not just like yoga, just like these other diets are just like, vegetarianism or this diet or this, but like this is called the system. So I find that interesting because it has like various components to it besides just people think of yoga, they're like, okay, you're just breathing, stretching. There's various components in very details. There's details that you learn about when practicing.
Definitely, yeah. It's how we just spoke about with the different ways of eating, with the fruitarianism, with raw foodism, where you're speaking about with the modality that you're practicing as far as with the yoga. It's an Ashtanga yoga system that has intention behind it, behind each movement. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Yeah.
That's what, to me, it's all about. It's all about transforming yourself, constant change and growth. Just constant change and growth.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like, in 5 years from now, you and I are going to be looking back now like, wow, we were young. We're like, we had so much to learn.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn. There's so much to unlearn too, but there's so much to learn. So it's a never-ending journey. Yeah.
Straight up. Where was the seed of the Mucusless Diet Healing System? Like, where did you find that? I find that the system is usually
it's different
in a treasure chest somewhere under the sand at the beach. Like, you got where? So how were you exposed to the Mucusless?
It wasn't shown to me by Rastafari. It was shown to me by he said, I told his wife alone. But they showed me, I was shown to it by just my own self. I was actually farming in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Like, I was already a vegan, and then I already had discovered works of Douglas Graham.
Okay.
It was about the 80-10-10, but it was really like about just eating tons of fruit.
Yeah.
And I just knew there was something else that I needed to discover. So I think I found that runner Michael Arnstein, the fruitarian athlete.
Yeah.
Does the 100-mile runs, and he had a video was talking about mucus free, and I was like, what? It's like, what is that? You know what I mean? And then I looked it up in the search bar, and I was like, mucus free. And then I saw the mucus free life, and I'm pretty sure it was still mucus free life. It might have been something different though, because it was 6 years ago.
Okay.
But it was very in like the original stages. Professor Spira was just cultivating it. He had his video. He had his channel with his videos. His first videos were like him, it was just awesome when I saw it, because I saw he's like wearing a dashiki, wearing like a leaf hat. He's got his face paint on.
Yeah.
He just started talking about this stuff in Arnold Ehret, and it was just really interesting to me. Here's a brother talking about that mucus-free lifestyle in Arnold Ehret, and then I started reading about Arnold Ehret, and then I was like, okay, I gotta get the book. So then I found it in the Powell's book, which is the biggest library in Oregon, but I think it's one of the biggest in the United States.
Okay.
They have one copy.
Copy.
Yeah. One copy. I found it. I got it. The OG.
Said I got it.
Captured it.
Yo.
I still got the original one. It's like it's in half, and I had to tape it together because it was so old.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't have it preserved in the like perfect container, so it got a little roughed up.
Okay. Maybe, I heard that rice can make good bookbinders glue if you mix rice and water.
That'd be a good idea.
You might be able to just like straight up hook it up, preserve your book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man.
Yo.
Build the wall of China with the rice.
Dang. That's gluey.
Is that true?
What's that?
True? I've heard that.
The bookbinder's glue?
I know that, but the Great Wall of China.
Oh, made with rice glue?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't hear that. I'll say I have no clue.
I don't know. I'm not going to say that's a fact. I'm not saying that's a fact. But that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of rice to do that.
Yo, but they had, I hear it's a lot of rice there. Like that's prevalent.
Yeah.
So it's like
there's a lot of rice.
Could be that's why it's a staple. Like they found that we could build a wall. We could eat, just eat rice, sustain, like you could sustain on rice.
Yeah.
Let's see, rice glue. Rice mortar. Is that sticky? The Great Wall of China, physical, sticky rice mortar. Sticky rice played a major role in maintaining the durability of the Great Wall, as well as tombs, pagodas, and city walls. So sticky rice mortar. Yeah, you have,
That's true.
Some
I guess it is partially true.
Yeah.
I was telling you the story about how I found the first book. So yeah, I got the book and I started reading it. It's an old book. And it has Arnold Ehret's face on it. And I was reading the book.
Yeah.
Going through the beginning, the first chapter really struck me hard because, man, I mean, it was just very convicting and strong with his language. It just made a lot of sense. What he was saying in the first chapter. Every disease, no matter what name, is known by medical science. It's constipation, clogging up the entire pipe system. And then such food being derived from unnatural, undigested food substance from childhood on, and so on and so on. But
you said from childhood.
From childhood on.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Uneliminated waste.
Uneliminated waste building up. And before that too, even before childhood, as Professor Spira was talking about the ancestral DNA being the waste from your ancestors. Your grandparents and your grandparents, and this is the bloodline. It's blood.
Got you. So, all right, as we come to a wrap up section here, why do you think it's important to work towards being mucus free? Let's say that.
I would say being mucus free is not just about the diet; it's about embracing a mindset and the lifestyle. It's about your environment. It's about the people you associate with. It's about the types of music you listen to and the places you work at. And not to say we're, like you said, we can't be in a perfect state. I mean, you're not mucus free 100%. In the world, definitely not. In our life, we're getting it. But it's about just the entire evolutionary change for yourself personally and for your your family,
Mm.
community, and then we want to transform the world with it. Because how can we be content even if let's just say we're 100% mucus free? Like, how can we be content? It's like we can be mucus free, but then we go down the street and we see McDonald's and people are hungry, or we see diseases and homeless people. I just feel like it needs to happen on a global scale.
Mm.
Like, we need to clean up like the planet. We clean up the karma of the planet and the torture that's being done to animals, all the craziness that's happening with governments and stuff. It's kind of like looking at it in a bigger picture. For me, it's about looking at the mucus free, looking at the world through a mucus free lens. Seeing that we want to create a life culture. As Brother Ehret says,
yes,
this is a death culture. So we have to scrap the death culture, create a life culture. And it's can't. I don't want to say the words can't, but we're all building towards it. And we're all making a world a better place. Even when the world may not be perfect, like, we're still working on ourselves, and that's what we can do. That's what we can control. That's what we are in power. That's how we are in power. We're in power of our own lives.
What is your message to those tuning in?
The message is to just keep it real and to be completely honest with yourself in your life, and ask yourself, what do you really desire out of this life? And I would say my message is to really realize how important your health is, how the health of yourself and the planet matters. It's not just about a selfish kind of endeavor. It's also about how do we help each other? How do we teach each other and and protect protect what we built, with this kind of lifestyle. Able to protect it and while having it grow and flourish.
I see. Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah. How can we protect the roots?
Yeah, because it's a very grassroots. Yeah, it's grassroots. So it's like growing like grass and getting taller and taller. So how do we protect it from just cutting it down?
Yeah.
Just trying to slash it or trying to glean off of it and make some money off of it. I'm like, ooh, mucus free. I want to say that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So how do we protect our group's grassroots and be effective with our message for the world? Obviously, we know like a lot of people aren't ready for it, but they're gonna be ready. People are gonna have to be ready because it's a crisis. Sometimes it's like that crisis moment where you have to reach out for things that you might be like, you've been brushing aside, like, I'm not gonna do that crap or that free stuff, and then you might have a health crisis, and people are like, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. You call yourself the teacher. It's like Tobin the teacher. And why do you feel after 6 years, now is the time to share what you've learned?
Yeah, I feel it's been about being in the trenches and going through almost as a, almost like, someone, someone like training for boot camp and they're going through the mud. It's like going through that kind of, like sludgy, muddy waters and just kind of like the hardships and tribulations that come with it in the beginning. Being able to overcome that, and being someone who's lived through those experiences and has had to deal with some hardships and who's gone through on the other side, to some kind of light. Enough experience where at this point I feel like I'm ready to be a little more open and private. But I feel like I've been open to a certain extent, but I've kept a lot of stuff private because it's just such a private experience.
Yeah.
And I
when
feel
you
like
say it, sorry for cutting you off. When you say it, what are you referring to as it as a private experience?
I mean, the practice of the Mucusless Diet Healing System is a private experience.
Okay.
It's a self-reflection, self-doing process. So, and a lot of people aren't comfortable with sharing that kind of privacy, especially because we're talking about your inner pain and your traumas that you're trying to heal yourself.
Yeah.
Not everyone's meant to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm called to do that now. And I think it's important now more than ever.
Okay.
Sharing that information and then to be sharing the wisdom and things that I've been through, just the amount of stuff that I know I can share and help people with. I'm confident, I'm confident in myself now. Whereas before I was like, I have to go through this. Yeah, like I really have to live this and go through the pain and the good parts and just really absorb what's going on here, like what this is all about.
Definitely. Okay. So as far as you now being more public and moving into putting out more content, I know now you're on SoundCloud and have music popping off. So where can we find you on the interweb? How do we touch in with what you're doing and the vibration that you're putting out?
Yeah, you can touch in with me on Instagram at ZufiusX.
All right, let's see if we can spell that. So that's
Zufius, ZOO.
Yup.
FIUS.
Okay.
X. Yeah, that's Zufius.
Zufius X?
Yeah, Zufius X.
On Instagram.
Yeah, and you can also find me on YouTube on Infinite Fire.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube Infinite Fire.
You have a specific logo that we're looking for with that Infinite Fire?
It's just a picture of me. I think it's just a picture of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what else you got?
SoundCloud.
Okay.
And just look up Urban Mystic on SoundCloud. But the thing is that if you look up Urban Mystic, it can be hard to find my personal one because there's a lot of other Urban Mystics. So there's one of a picture of like a Native American that's like praying like that, and that's me. That's mine. But I can also send the link to that too. Yeah,
we'll get that.
Yeah, and then me and Noel are creating a website together, and we're in the works of that right now. We're creating a website together that's I'm not going to say what it's called yet, but it's basically me and her, like both of our talents and our energies and our services kind of coming together. I mean, we both are going to be doing our own separate work.
Yeah.
But we're doing it also on the same, on the same website. So on the same page, you'll find us.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing work like with teaching people about live it and just different kind of stuff. Like one thing that we've created is something called a mantra wall, and we've been doing
what is that.
It's called a mantra wall.
Mantra wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar. If you want to elaborate.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a little bit like what you're seeing on my wall right now. This is a little bit of it, but it's kind of like you put all your energies, all your art, and your affirmations that you create, um, words of power, things that you want to manifest, like things that you really want something to manifest in your life. You can write and you put it on your wall, and then you just create a collage of images and writing, and it's just what we call a mantra wall.
Got you.
Yeah, and we've been doing that since we started going out. Like I actually started doing it. Yeah, I actually started doing it before we started going out.
Yeah.
And and the story goes is I had these different affirmations that I was putting on my wall, and I would have an affirmation about like healing, healing myself and regeneration, and then I'd have one that's calling in spirit guides and ancestors, and then I'll have like a picture of like a spirit guide or like Native American warrior, whatever it is, and then in that process too, this is also something personal too about me, is I also put up a picture or a writing that says "Woman Love," and it says "Woman Love 33." And it started just saying "Woman Love 33, Woman Love 33," and like it was part of the mantra or like the affirmation I was saying to manifest a woman in my life.
Yeah.
And so I started putting that affirmation up, started writing in my journal, like I'm going to meet a match for me. I'm gonna meet like a I didn't say like a perfect woman, but someone who's like this and this, getting specific with it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Stuff like that,
and
just kind of creating your life in your own creative way. It's like it's the mantra wall. So
okay.
Yeah, being creative.
Yeah. Like walking into your affirmation and seeing.
Yeah, you walk into yourself. It's like all my ideas, all my projects, all my visions and things that are very sacred to me. Like in my house.
Definitely.
Yeah, and shrine too. Like me and her have built these epic shrines together too, with all kinds of statues and animals, ancestors.
What was that? Animals and then what?
Animals and ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when you mentioned the shrines, I remembered on your Instagram, most epic shrine ever. And this is only a small part of the entirety of it. I remember scrolling through and
that's pretty rad, huh?
Yeah, dude.
That's just a small piece of it. I mean,
so if anyone, if anyone was interested, we're talking about the Instagram Zoofius, and we can't see the full epicness of it, but you could Zoofius X at Instagram.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I was just saying how epic it's been to create a shrine with somebody, just creating something with somebody else just brings it to a whole nother level. Because I mean, and that's kind of tapping back into like how precious it is to like have someone in your life that shares like the same vision as you and the same ideals and values.
Definitely.
It's something.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's something very rare. It's something very rare and precious, like very delicate too. It's all very interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure you have so much, just so many experiences and subtleties throughout your endeavor and your missions together.
Yeah, it really has been. It's been quite a journey, man. And just getting to know yourself too. Like the stuff that you learn about yourself through a relationship, especially with someone who's like twin flame or
Mm-hmm.
soulmate level,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it becomes something like, whoa, you know, you're like, whoa, we're thinking the same thoughts, or, you know, we're doing the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Word up.
Yeah.
Yo, freaking Tobin, thank you for doing this and sharing your mucusless diet healing system experience. Is there anything else you would like to share before we part ways and enter the practice or continue the practice?
Yeah, I would just say thank you to you and everybody who's just pioneering this message and this journey, and who was brave enough to be out here in the front lines.
Mm.
You know, shout out to Professor Spira, Brother Ehret, Meekness Free Life, One Love. Everybody who's just been a huge part of the journey.
Mm.
Yeah, this who's just been there, who understands you on a different level. Like, you can't share certain things, or it's hard to share certain things with people who don't get it. It's like, oh man, it's hard to describe those kind of things to people who aren't doing the practice.
Yeah.
Or just aren't thinking the same way. Even people who having that vibration going with people that you enjoy being around. I would just say, yeah, just everyone keep doing the good work, keep transitioning, and really being patient, and also being an explorer and an innovator. Just trying new things, trying to innovate new things to the practice, bring new ideas to enhancing our health, like other things that can, whatever it may be, not just our health, but just our creativity and our connection with the divine and to nature. Like, yeah, I'd really like to hear more about just what other people are into, just sharing your passion. Like Professor Spira was saying, it's about pursuing your passion of what you're into in life. Because without that, this is obviously really, this is important to me, but without my passions, then I feel like it's not as exciting and fun. Because with my music, I can share the message. With my lyrics, I share what I'm saying in my videos and stuff like that, and I can express that.
Okay, so through the passion, you can share the message.
Yeah, through the passion, share the message.
Yeah,
and share cleanliness, and share your heart chakra. Within your true self. Being exposed sometimes, or being hardcore, or being whatever it is. Whatever your artistic expression is. Like, I feel like everybody's got something to be creative with. Tap into it. That's an important message that I would do. It's teaching Tobin, say, tap into your creativity, man. That's amazing, to tap into your creativity. Like, there's nothing like making music, or just creating lyrics, and
painting,
paintings or drawings, or
throwing paint at the canvas. Yeah. Smudging it.
Yeah.
Getting
dirty, creating the art, like Israel Frutal, like creating those art pieces with the fruit.
Yeah.
Fruit art.
Yeah. So, tap into your creativity.
Being an innovator. Share some new ideas. And don't be afraid to speak your truth.
Speak your truth?
Yeah, speak your truth. Speak the truth too. You need to hear more of that. You need to hear more truth tellers. People who are just like, I don't even care if this is gonna make people mad. You
Yeah.
know? I
Yeah.
mean, the stuff that's going on in this world is a lot of deceit and warfare.
Mm.
A lot of deceit and psychologically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
Most
it's
definitely.
a time for the revolutionaries to stand up.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
to be like on the forefront of speaking out and being like, this is urgent.
Mm-hmm.
Now we gotta get it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, and we gotta stop some of the tyranny that's happened.
Some of the what?
The tyranny.
Yeah.
Like we can't just roll our like put our heads in the sand and then just accept the whatever comes our way. Like, okay, that's what the government told us to do.
Yeah.
I guess we all need the vaccine because like we were talking about, it's before it's animals time.
Yeah. Yo, all right. So yeah, we might have to either we'll do a poll ourselves or have Professor Spira. It's like we'll have to enter the, let's say, like the universal relief fund. Like what should everyone get? And I know Professor Spira was talking about getting like a universal based income, but it's like $500 for each person. It's only for fruits and vegetables. So Tobin and we were speaking about, along with that universal based income for the fruits and vegetables, it's a universal enema bag. And it dropped from the sky. We started getting imaginative. So it dropped from the sky and tubes flow from it into each person through their window. So what nah. Yo, yeah, we got creative in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, thank you for doing this interview with me. Yeah, I really appreciate you and all the work that you put in and music that you do, and I'm looking forward to doing some collabs or something. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Yeah, and I got those beats too. I was freaking digging those.
All right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yo, thank you again for showing up and sharing your truth, speaking your truth. You're doing what you're calling out. So yeah, I look forward to checking you in the community as well. And for those listening, thank y'all for checking us and getting into the information. Also, if you have any questions, drop a comment below and like the video, subscribe it, yeah, share it if you find this of value. I'll never try to force anything. So
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Love.
Peace, y'all. Keep it peace. Just keep it peace, y'all. Keep it peace. I was curious because I shared a video. This was a while ago on Facebook, and you commented that that's how you started the diet. Like that's how you got into it. And this video was an iTile. It was one of those iTile videos where it was a Jamaican guy. Yeah. So, yeah. So this Jamaican guy, he
See the
was
reggae hat?
yeah.
My hat.
So he was up in the video talking about how to break a fast, like when you were talking about earlier, as far as eating the fruits, and he was talking about that for breakfast. He was just like, "Yo, like it's not the bacon and eggs, man. Like it's you got like." Yeah. So he was really getting into it, and I remember you wrote that's how you got into it, like with the iTile. Can you elaborate? Even like, I don't know your story at all in that regard. So even if I'm missing pieces, can you provide?
I'll fill you in.
Okay, yeah. How you even found yourself in this?
Yeah, so I'll fill you in a little bit more on that. So, so I got into the Rastafari culture really propelled me to the vegetarian and vegan lifestyle. the back to nature type of lifestyle and vibration. Because I don't know, I think there's really a soul connection that I have that I just felt, I just ultimately felt it when I listened to some of these reggae artists or just these Rasta elders in Jamaica, with the long knotty locks and, having like just that refined like wisdom. I really connected with that, almost as if I'm seeing my soul grandfather. I'm seeing my grandfather, and he is my grandfather. He's part of me. There's a connection there. Yeah. Even though on a genetic level, I have different parts of Europe, but there's a different part when you tap into who you are as a soul. And I felt
you said a different part that you tap into with who you are as a soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that might look different than your family bloodline, like your direct family bloodline. Yeah.
Definitely.
And it can be kind of strange because you kind of feel like out of place. Like for me, it felt very out of place with that kind of like European, just American culture and lifestyle and just the art and the music. And not that there's stuff that I definitely like about European culture in a certain regard, but I've just always felt more closely connected with like South America, like ancient Aboriginal cultures and tribal people, Native American, like that kind of vibration. So with the Rastafarian, like I always felt closely connected with those, with that kind of culture and the music and all that.
Yeah.
It just inspired me to start going vegan, plant-based, because I also had a friend who showed me about the Rastafarian culture. He showed me like the Holy Pibby, and gave me Marcus Garvey book.
Yeah.
A book about Haile Selassie in Ethiopia. So, I was reading up on all that. And, I got a book. And I read Malcolm X and all the Black history figures like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Black Panthers, Bobby Seale, Bobby Seale, Huey P. Newton.
Yeah.
And I was just really inspired me. Like, and also Dead Prez too really inspired me too. Like I really thought that those cats were really monumental, and because their music was from 1992. They had a song about being vegan. Like there's a song called what is it called? Like I don't eat no meat, no dairy, no sweets, only right vegetables, fresh fruit, and whole wheat. Like it's a cut. Like it's called? I don't know, but it's on their first album, Let's Get Free. And I was just inspired by different music and just the culture, like that kind of culture, like the Rastafarian culture and the hip hop and reggae, and just all these different figures in history.
Yeah.
And especially when like seeing the Rastafarian people and they're just in their village and they have all these plants they're picking and just growing their own food and Ital soup and just their just the level of their vitality. Like some of these elders, they're probably like in their 80s or 90s and they're just farming, they're strong, they had this brightness in their spirit that just made me really inspired and connected to a lot. So it really made me want to do the Mucusless Diet Healing System and just that kind of lifestyle even more.
How'd you so one idea was the name of the song "Be Healthy" by Dead Prez.
Be healthy. Be healthy.
And so you just mentioned it inspired you, just this movement, the Rastafari spirit and the vitality and that. And I relate with what you're saying, just seeing the conviction that a lot of these elders do come with. They just, have that earth energy that's just strong.
Very
And
strong earth
when they
energy.
say anything, it's just, whoa, like you're fully behind what you're saying right now. There's no,
they're not hesitant.
Flippant. Nah, it's just clear, rational power.
Yeah, they say what they mean.
That's it.
They mean what they say. They're direct. They're simple. Simple with, not simple like they're simple-minded, but they're simple and just like the simplicity of what they're conveying. You know, it's not super like scientific or complex. You're just talking about Mother Nature and universe and, you know, Black people or whatever it may be. I told food.